If you have ever looked at winter citrus and thought, I want that sunshine, but in a smaller package, you are describing a kumquat. It is a tiny, edible lantern, and in our yard, it is the plant that shows up right when the garden feels quieter. In this video, I'll show you how our kumquat went from a Costco decoration to a steady, heavy-producing tree, what it looks like through the seasons, the simple care that keeps it happy in the ground, how we eat it, and the common citrus pests we manage so the tree keeps its shine. Welcome to With the Garden. Here in Los Angeles, in a cozy yard, I'm learning and sharing as I go. I hope you'll grow along with me. Let's begin. We brought home our kumquat from Costco, the same year we were bringing home most of our major fruit trees. The kumquat was supposed to be decorative, a cheerful potted citrus to brighten a corner. And for that first year, it did exactly that, sitting in its pot and looking cute. Then, in its second year with us, we made the decision that changed everything. We transplanted it into the ground in a spot bordering our driveway. It is a practical location and a slightly theatrical one because the driveway is where we walk past every day. In winter, when the fruits color up, it is like the tree is waving at us as we come and go. But I want to be honest about the timeline because kumquat teaches patience. After we planted it in the ground, it took almost 2 years to really establish itself. It stayed small, and each year it produced a polite handful of fruits, just enough to say, yes, I am alive, and yes, I heard you want lanterns. Then, starting in the third year after that move, it shifted. The tree began growing with confidence, adding real structure, filling out with glossy leaves, and producing more fruit each winter. And in the past couple of years, it has become a heavy producer, with hundreds of little lanterns brightening our winter seasons. It went from decoration to declaration. Up close, the tree is tidy and glossy. The leaves are small, narrow, lance-shaped, and deep green, and if you rub one between your fingers, you get that clean citrus oil scent. In spring, after we harvest most of its fruits, it pushes out new growth in a lighter green, then blooms with tiny white flowers in late spring that smell intensely sweet. I always notice the blossoms before I see them, because the fragrance travels. Fruit set is the long game. The little green fruits form and then take their time. In our yard, the main show is winter. The fruits ripen into bright orange, and suddenly the whole tree looks decorated. Each fruit is small, usually a few centimeters long, oval on our tree, smooth-skinned and firm, like a miniature orange that decided to be efficient. Taste is where kumquat surprises people. Ours is the classic type with a sweet peel and a tart, sour interior. If you eat it whole, the experience flips your expectations. Sweetness first, then a sharp citrus tang. We sometimes eat the whole fruit, especially when we want that full punch. But most of the time, we eat the peel and leave the inside for the compost, because the center can be a little too bold for casual snacking. If you want a friendlier bite, roll the kumquat gently between your fingers before eating. That releases more of the fragrant oils in the peel. And if you slice it thinly and remove the seeds, kumquat becomes less of a surprise and more of an ingredient. Most of the time we eat them raw as fruits. Sometimes we like them scattered over salads. Other people have simmered them into marmalade or cooked them into jewel-like candied slices for yogurt, cakes, and cheese boards. They also play well in drinks, from a quick hot water and honey cup to the occasional infused syrup. Culturally, kumquat carries a lot of good energy. The Chinese name 金桔 is often understood as golden citrus, and the symbolism is right on the surface. Glossy leaves and golden orange fruits that look like prosperity you can water. Around Lunar New Year, especially in Cantonese-speaking regions, kumquat trees are a popular display plant, a living wish for luck and abundance. You also see kumquats in New Year prints and still life imagery as an auspicious fruit. In some families, salted preserved kumquats are kept in a jar and mashed into hot water with honey for comfort when a throat feels scratchy, more kitchen tradition than medical guarantee. It is also a popular home remedy to stew kumquat with pear for sore throat. Now the care. Since ours is in the ground now, it is less dependent on us than it was in a pot, but it still appreciates consistent basics. We keep it in full sun, in soil that drains well, and we follow our main rule: deep watering, then wait. In summer hot days, we water about once every 2 weeks. In winter, about once a month. We adjust for heat and wind, but we try not to hover. Citrus also attracts pests like it is hosting a tiny open house. Our kumquat, like our tangerine, can collect whiteflies, aphids, scale, mealybug, and sometimes a light powdery mildew haze on tender growth. We inspect new growth, hose off outbreaks early, prune lightly for airflow, and use an organic neem oil and soap spray 2 or 3 times a year as a minimum to keep problems in check. Even then, we do not keep it perfectly problem-free. We have learned to live with a little cosmetic damage, as long as the tree is vigorous and fruiting. The story behind this small fruit adds another layer. Kumquat is native to southern China and has been cultivated in East Asia for centuries. Botanists often list it as Citrus japonica, and you still see the older Fortunella name in some books and nurseries. From East Asia, it traveled into Europe in the 19th century, where it was prized as both fruit and ornament. That double identity makes sense. Kumquat can be visually joyful and genuinely useful at the same time, which is basically what we want from half the garden. Nutritionally, kumquat punches above its weight. Because you can eat the peel, you take in more fiber than you would from many citrus fruits, where the peel is discarded, along with vitamin C and citrus plant compounds, including flavonoids and aromatic essential oils that help create that unmistakable citrus scent and flavor. Commercially, those same qualities are why kumquat shows up in preserves, confectionery, flavorings, and sometimes even fragrance. So that is our kumquat. Once a pot on the patio, now a driveway edge lantern tree. Slow to settle, then suddenly generous, and a little demanding in the way all citrus can be, but completely worth it when winter turns bright. Do you grow kumquat? And if you do, did yours also take a couple of years to really get going? And do you eat it whole? Or do you also quietly choose the peel first? Thank you for watching. If this was helpful or inspiring, please give it a like, share, subscribe, and tell me what you're growing in the comments. See you next time in the garden.